Hey everyone, welcome back to more Gloom. I'm DisturbingPuppet. It's been a long time since I've played this, so this is something I kind of pull out every October when feeling in kind of a spooky mood. So I have a few other kind of spooky October games I'm going to try to get to at least do a single video on for a couple, and this is one of them. So this is one of that I kind of play every October. I do like this game a lot. I have the physical edition, a couple different physical editions of the game. This is the digital edition. Let's go ahead and jump on in. If you don't know the game, the point is to pick a family, make their lives a living hell, and then kill them. And whichever family has the most horrible life wins. So we'll have just a one-on-one game here against the AI, see how we do. It's been a while, like I said, I'm probably a bit rusty. I do love the art in this, it's very Edward Gorey inspired. So let's jump on in. We are going to play with the expansions. We're going to play with 2 people. Which family do we want to play? As Artiste is always good. I do like the Slogars as well. The Wellington Smythes, very creepy. The art doesn't quite fit for the Bournes. I don't know if I've played these guys before. I've probably said this every time I load up, like, who are these people? I feel like I've said that every time I've checked out this game recently. I think we'll go with the standard. We'll go with the Slogars. Playing against the Wellington Smythes. Just the look and feel of this game is great. I wish they had done other versions of it. I think I have the Cthulhu version of the board game, or the physical card game. It'd be nice if they had something kind of like that as well for us. So they have changed the interface. I'm not, a huge fan of this. So if we want to look, we have to go between the different families instead of seeing them all at once. It does give you a bit more visibility though. So we have Melissa Slogar, the cadaverous child. It's a shame when a child dies at a tender age, but sometimes it's a shame when she doesn't. We have Grogar, work in progress. Professor Slogar is determined to create the perfect groom for her daughter. She still has a ways to go. Professor Helena Slogar, eccentric inventor. Helena enjoys gardening, long walks in the moonlight, and reanimating the dead. We have Lord Slogar, a brain in a box. Lord Slogar's thoughts may be muddled, but Helena assures us that his heart is in the right place. Elias E. Gore, itinerant gravedigger. It can be hard for traveling gravedigger to find jobs, but there's always work at Castle Slogar. And we have the castle itself, a wonderful place to raise a family from the dead. So yeah, just a kind of interesting thing here. So we have the characters. What we're going to do is play cards on them, which have different effects, and we'll put different negatives in different spots on them. And then you can play cards that will overlap it. You can also play cards on your opponent, which might have positive effects and things. So for Les Artistes, there is Marie Delacroix, misunderstood model. She found a way to make her paralyzing fear of clothing work for her. Rousseau, a patchwork painter. His dearest Rosalind wishes he'd just send flowers. He's missing an eye, an ear, at least one hand, if not 2. We have Simon Simone, androgynous actor. As far as Simon is concerned, gender is just another role. We have James De Winter, the penniless poet. You have to suffer to write. Apparently, James just hasn't suffered enough. Well, that'll change. Belladonna, the consumptive courtesan. Once she was consumed by passion, now she's just being consumed. And there's Le Canard Noir, the cursed cafe. Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. Alright, so what do we have for options here to start with? So we have Crushed by a Church. Continuous. Draw limit is decreased by a card. Don't know about that one. I don't like how much it zooms in on these. It's kind of weird. This is different as well, I think, than the last time I looked at it. I think they would just kind of get larger. They didn't get, massive and cover the whole thing. Plagued by the Pox. Draw limit is decreased by 1 card. We have Deceived by the Deed. Discard any mysteries on your residence. You can't play a new mystery. I don't have one at the moment, but that means we can't play one if we do this. So it's kind of like we lose. So you see those other icons, so those cards will interact with the different icons. I kind of feel like it's harder to see what's on the stuff, even though this is supposed to make it easier. Greeted by Ghosts. Immediately discard 3 cards from your hand. That's what you get for revisiting your old haunts. I think we get to play, is it 2 cards? It's been a long time since I played Menace by Mice. Perhaps the elephants know something we don't. So we'll take turns playing cards. So I feel like initially here, what we're going to do, we have a pretty standard effect here with the Menaced by Mice. So I'm going to take the Menaced. Yeah, we can just do this and hold it. So that's kind of nice. We can actually see a little better. Let's say Grogar was menaced by mice. Okay, just waiting for it to go away, but it didn't. Yeah, so it doesn't have the thing on it. So now if I look, we can see that. So we can see the current effect. Before you could actually see the card on, which I kind of like that better. This is a bit more focused on the points and stuff and the icons, but I kind of like having the effects and seeing what's going on. And then when somebody dies, we can go back and look at stuff. Anyway, so I think I've got 2 actions. Yeah, so 2, and then we're down to 1. So some things do end your turn immediately. Discard 3 cards. I don't know if I want to not be able to play anything on my residence, because it's something nice. Draw limit decreased by 1. Isn't too bad. And I think what we could go ahead and do, if we want to go for something fairly quick. So Gorgar was menaced by mice, and then as a result was chastised by the church. Does affect my draw. We drew a way to kill somebody. Alright, the bot. Misfortune favors the old. Play 2 additional cards this round. Oh, doing something. Grogar was chastised by mice, but then found a clue in the closet. It's General Custard in the conservatory, so that got rid of some of my negatives. I drew some ways to kill people, but I can always play stuff that goes over, so if anything it just gets the bottom 2. That's what we might want to do. So over here, Marie Delacroix was pursued by poodles. They may look silly, but they can strip the meat off rhinoceros in less than a minute. And then disappeared in the fog. Okay, so immediately chased by poodles out in the fog and disappeared. Only minus 15 points, though. Which is not a lot for somebody. Do we have something that is just on the bottom 2? I do not. That is unfortunate. You got ways to kill people. Consumed from within, worth additional minus 10 with the death icon. So I think this is mysteries. The skull is death. There's a bat for animals. Push down the stairs. Worth additional minus 10 with the lucre, which is the money, lucre, or marriage icon. Don't have anyone married. I don't have anybody with money. I could counteract this a bit, but I'd have to discard 3 cards to do it. I think you have to play kills first if you're going to kill someone, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time, like I said. Could just move on to somebody else and hope for something better. But I'm already down 1, so I'm not really happy about losing another card. So let's go ahead. I think what we'll do is we'll have Melissa Slogar here will be plagued by the pox. Picked up the pox from a fox in a box.
Typical, really.
Now, I'm not so sure. We could discard and get rid of everything and just hope for the best. Could help counteract some of these negatives. We could just move on to somebody else. I think moving on to somebody else and trying to get something that will cover the bottom 2 is better. Do that later. So how about we'll go with Professor Helena Slogar was greeted by ghosts.
I should study this.
So there's the death icon, for example. Discard all my cards. Draw some replacements. I did get something that covers the bottom too. I'll take a look at that when it's our turn. So Catbot. So the game ends when everyone's dead on a side. Helena Slogar
Nothing will stop me.
died without cares. Ooh, that's not nice. Immediately wiped out one of my people for no points. That's not nice at all.
Well, every dog will have his day.
James De Winter mauled by a manatee. They're fierce if you rile them. Okay. Well, we had somebody get nuked quite quickly. We do have some big negatives. We've got a positive here as well. We've also got something I can play on my home. This will get rid of... This would bring somebody back from the dead. The Vacant Vault. If you have at least one dead character, you must remove an untimely death card from a character in your family and discard it. That's actually quite good. It also gives me some negatives, which we immediately score. Yeah, that would bring Helena back, and would just... The card is... So in the physical game, the other card is underneath this top one. So you just take the top one off. The one that was there before will then be in effect. This one, discard your entire hand, also skip your draw phase this turn. That's unfortunate because you get rid of everything, and then you don't have any cards to play next time. Yeah, let's go ahead and do... So it's kind of Castle Slogar and the Vacant Vault. So the vault is empty because she came back from the dead. So yeah, excellent. And that gives us a minus 20 to start with. So you score these immediately. Everything else you score when someone dies. Now, I could do something to my opponent. He's got a minus 20 up here, and we could actually get rid of that. So James De Winter, who was mauled by manatees, we could immediately have Found Fame at a Feast. I think that's worth it to get rid of those negative points.
If food be the music of love, dine on.
It does mean that my opponent will draw those two cards, not me. That was the end of my turn. Catbot. Immediately going for James De Winter.
Money
Robbed
isn't
by rascals.
everything.
It's the little ones you have to wash. So robbed by kids. Belladonna.
Will
Chased by
surely be
children.
the end of me.
Sticks and stones can break your bones. Gave me a card as well. Alright, do I have anything that's going to cover the bottom two? I still do, but that's the really negative one. I do have a way to kill somebody off if we wanted to do that. It doesn't necessarily help anything. Died old and alone. Can't be played on someone with a marriage icon. No 50 cats don't count. Ah, that's mean. She just has the death icon. So the 15 would replace, so we'd be down 35 then. That's actually not terrible. Said I'm pretty sure I have to play the kills first. So how about we do that? Professor Helena Slogar, who was greeted by ghosts, then died old and alone.
Nothing will stop me.
After coming back from the dead, she died old and alone. An excellent result, 55 points. So, if I really want to be crazy, we go ahead and ditch everything, or we just move on to somebody else and do something to them. What do we have? Badly Betrothed is not bad. Also have Locked in the Lavatory. You're haunted by the smell. Yes, interesting. I think we just work our way towards something better. So, Lord Slogar here is a brain in a box. He's not going to be affected by a lavatory. But I feel like Igor, our gravedigger, being locked in a lavatory is quite funny.
Well, I've had worse.
I'm sure you have. Alright, on to our opponent. So James
To
de Winter
be
was found in the
or-
furnace. This character has a icon. Immediately draw a card. Yeah, ashes to ashes. Killing off his character is awfully quick. Playing something over here on Melissa.
Of course.
Perturbed by the pudding. Shark-infested custard is an acquired taste. So I just kind of took my high negatives to replace them with some low negatives. So that's something else you can do to kind of play around with stuff. Alright. What did we get? We do have a way to kill somebody if we want to. Didn't think things through. This character has a mystery icon. You may play an untimely death as your second. I only have one untimely death, so it doesn't really matter. Do you have a minus 20? Trapped on a train. All stops lead to a bloody death. Can't play events. I don't think I've even gotten an event card yet. I mean, we could throw that out there. Badly betrothed. We could put almost anywhere. It would cancel out the positive 15 here if we want to do that and give that. Or we could put it on somebody new. We could also just go had a horrible holiday. But I think we'd want to play that second. So I think what we'll do is Lord Slogar was badly betrothed.
No one understands me.
Plague on both your residences. And I drew a death. Worth an additional minus 10 with the death icon. Do I have? I do have a death icon here, but that person's already dead. We've got a death icon here on Igor, but I can't play a kill at the moment. I think what I'm gonna do, it's a big risk, but I think Grogar, who had found a clue in the closet, is going to have a horrible holiday. Is going to make my next turn pretty crummy unless I have a way, like if my opponent plays a card that gives me a card, that would be ideal. Belladonna was eaten by bears.
I die.
The opponent is rapidly killing off his family. Only a few of them left. And then Lord Slogar was
Food for
diverted by
thought.
drink. A long diversion goes a long way, so he's now positive. That's not what we want. And unfortunately, I'm not going to have anything I can do. Yeah, it's just going to draw unless it's the end of my turn, I think. Yep. Right back to Catbot, so it's kind of risky, the play that we did. Simon
I
Simone
need to discuss this with
was
my
jinxed
agent.
by gypsies. A tall, dark stranger in your future is carrying a scythe. And
I
Rousseau
must drown my sorrows.
found maggots in the meat. Finders keepers. So I need to kill Grogar immediately. That's kind of the plan, because he's worth 50 points, which is insane. Let's take a look. I do have a way to kill him. Died of sheer shame. This character has a marriage icon. No one can play modifier cards with the marriage icon on your family. Once bitten, twice dead, apparently. Is that the marriage icon? I'm not sure. I think that's just love. So I think that's... Yeah, I'm not actually sure what some of these symbols are. It's been too long. It could be love. So I'm going to go ahead. Grogar, who had a horrible holiday, then died of sheer shame. So I'm not sure if that's actually triggering or not. So what did we get here? We have something for the house. The Daring Detectives, you may draw one card whenever anyone plays an Untimely Death card or a modifier card with the marriage or dagger icon. Okay. I think, so the dagger icon, the marriage icon, I'm not sure. I think this is just love. So that's death. I'm not sure if the goblet, exactly what that is. Lucre, I think, is like 2 coins. We do have a bunch of positive cards. So I think we want to take a look at my opponent. So we have top 2 positions. We could definitely get rid of some effects in play. Praised by his peers. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead for Simon Simone here, who was jinxed by gypsies. I think was then praised in the papers.
That's just swell, kid.
Don't forget to blame the little people. Yeah, all I'm drawing is positive stuff at this point, which is not what I want. Immediately, Simon Simone
I definitely need another drink.
was ruined by rum, the bane of pirates and socialites alike. And something for the family. And the Tea Time Terror, with additional -5 for each character with the goblet icon. If he has at least one. So actually doing pretty well. Yeah, so that's money, the lucre. The beast is the bat. So, is that for the goblet? That's 1, 2. So that's an extra 10 points there. If I can get rid of the goblet icon on either one of them, and I can, so that's an option. I like the effect I have at the moment. This is a positive 0.1, so I don't really want that. I could put that on his, though. Would get rid of 20 some odd points. So maybe we'll do that. Can't play anything on someone who's dead. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. So instead of the Canard Noir and the Tea Time Terror, it will be And the Daring Detectives. Does mean that he will have some card draw available, but we'll live with that. And then we want to get rid of a goblet. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, let's do that. For Rousseau, who found maggots in the meat, then was knighted by nincompoops.
Fortune smiles upon me.
It's an honor you'll carry to your grave. Okay, we actually got some negative cards. That's good. Simon Simone, who was ruined by
I need
rum,
to discuss this with my agent.
was galled by gangrene. Who likes to lose a limb? And that's it. Okay. Would like to get some more points going. I don't have any ways to kill anyone, so we just have to work towards people suffering. Which we can do, for sure. Just because I think it's funny, I think we'll do that. So Lord Slogar, who was diverted by drink, then broke many bones. How did he break many bones? I don't know how that's possible.
Not again.
They say that pain is the greatest teacher. Guess what? You failed. He's a brain in a box. I don't know how he broke his bones. His body's somewhere else, and it was, I don't know, used in some kind of medical experiment. And then, top and bottom? Do we have a top and bottom? Positive. I do not. got a -10 for a top position I could play on someone. That would be an improvement over poor Melissa's shark-infested pudding. What else does this do? Take an untimely death card from the discard pile, add it to your hand. That's good because we can then kill somebody. So yeah, Melissa Slogar, who was perturbed by the pudding, was poisoned by penguins.
Never trust a bird.
Penguins are always dressed to kill. And we get a death back, which I can play next time. And we drew another death. Catbot. Simon Simone.
Good thing I don't do this for the money.
Is crippled by creditors. Delaying debts can be deadly. Gave me some additional cards. And then Rousseau.
I have done worse than this to myself.
Not sure what they played because Knighted by Nincompoop stays on top of everything else. So it goes under, so I couldn't actually see what it was. In the physical game, it's always kind of fun when someone dies, you can always kind of look back and see what happened to them in order, because the cards are still there. And here, it would be nice if there was a way to do that, something that the game doesn't have, unfortunately. Well, what do we have? We still have some positives. We could definitely play some positives, but I think we want to murder somebody. Best I can get is 25 points. So what do we have for murders? Torn limb from limb. Additional -10 with the beast icon, which is the bat. So yeah, I mean that makes it sort of worthwhile here. It'd be 25 points. Consumed from within, worth additional -10 with the death icon, which is the skull. I do have that on Igor. So that would be worth 20. If I kill you, it's worth 25. If I kill you, it's worth 25. So how about... Since Melissa was poisoned by penguins, I think it's only right that she then be torn limb from limb. Rest in pieces. I don't think I'm allowed to play another death. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it's not even triggering or anything here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I think what we want to do, we could either put some additional negatives on Igor and have something else horrible happen to him, which would either be betrayed by the butler or disgraced at a dance. Or we could stop Simon Simone from being worth as many points. That would actually cancel about 35 points if we used Starred on the stage, which actually makes perfect sense for this character, Simon Simone, being an actor. After being crippled by creditors, Simon Simone starred on the stage.
Lucky break, kid.
You've always depended on the kindness of strangers. Burnt by a mob is what we just drew. That might be fun. Simon Simone.
Good thing I don't do this for the money.
Was written out of the will. Where there's a will, there's a way to get cheated out of your share. And then...
Those are the
beaten
breaks,
by beggars.
kid.
Give till it hurts, then give some more. Interesting life. That's one of these things in this game. All this interesting, bizarre stuff happening. Okay, well, we have somebody worth some points. What do we have? Ooh, I could kill 2 people if I play Burnt by a Mob first. And this one gives me an extra 10 with the death icon, which I do have. So, yeah, let's just murder everybody and end the game then, I think. So, Lord Slogar, who broke many bones, somehow, was burnt by a mob.
Oh dear.
50 people with torches and pitchforks can't be wrong. And because of that, the mob continues. So Igor, who was locked in a lavatory, how unfortunate for him, was then consumed from within.
That's a shovel in the head.
What a way to waste away. And everyone's dead, so that should be the end of the game. Yep, game is over. Absolutely trounced the AI there. Said it's been a long time, so it's kind of rusty, but I thought I would have a little harder time. I've had times when occasionally the AI will just absolutely destroy you. That's part of it, just being random with the cards and stuff. But yes, minus 175. So my family had a much harder life. Like his guys, started on the stage and had some other positive things. And I wish we could go back and look at all that stuff. But we can't, unfortunately. It's kind of fun, like, when somebody dies in the game, like, going back through and, like, this happened, then this happened, then this happened. It's kind of nice to look at. But yeah, I do think this is a good digital adaptation of a physical game, generally. The interface is a little odd, and it'd be nice to kind of look back at some of that stuff, the different cards. It's a very cool game. I would recommend the physical card game 100%. And if you can get it super cheap and want to play around with it, it's, yeah, probably worth $4 or $5, something like that. Yeah, it's been Gloom. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you in something else a bit more dark and spooky later in the month. Till then, have a good one.